Hello, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day, the commercialized holiday for lovers, filled with confectionery treats, delicate flowers, sexy lingerie, okay? And these are just a few gestures to show and celebrate the ones who you adore. But have you ever thought about why we celebrate the lovers' holiday during this season? I mean, considering the Greek inspired influences of the holiday, Venus is the natural planet or ruler of love. So it would seem more appropriate to celebrate the lover's season during, let's say, the middle of spring or the beginning of fall, which would be the Taurus and Libras transits that are also influenced under the planetary energy of Venus. And as my mind began to ponder this vigorously valiant, vehemently versatile, and very often victorious yet volatile phases of love, I decided to talk about Venus, okay? And why I believe the Greeks, Romans, and others who have romanticized this particular holiday chose to celebrate it during the season of Aquarius. So, yes, in this video, we would take deeper look, I should say, into the holiday we know as Valentine's Day. So, this will bring me to my first point, which would be the lovers. Love is honestly one of the most conquering and complicated aspects of life. It rules over our passions, our desires, attraction, the things that we romance over. And the planet here would be Venus, aka the Greeks' Aphrodite. Now, Aphrodite actually refers to foam, right? So, here, the beautiful Aphrodite is the personification of one of the most beautiful places on earth, which would be our beaches, the beauty of the beach. In etymology, the word Venus is spelled Veneres. So this looks like a cognate of two words, ven or when, which means desires. And then we have ERES. So if we take that R and replace it with the Y, we have eyes. So we're literally expressing the desires of our eyes or what we would love to see. Hence, the beauty in our desires. So I think it's very interesting too that Venus focuses on the eyes because when you think about it, of course, Venus, the Aphrodite, which appears on the seas, the sea foam, the side of your eyes actually make and form the letter C. We, of course, see through our eyes, right? Beauty, in fact, is in the eye of the beholder. Okay, so there's a lot of interesting plays that the Greeks have used to express the desires that our eyes help illuminate for us. Venus, in effect, would be the desires that materialize or accumulate, which we are inspired to seek. Venus also, being that it's represented by the goddess and the personification of the sea foam, rests on our shores, right? And there's something interesting about your eyes. Anytime you can see something, you're rest assured that it's actually there. I mean, if you ask a seaman who's been on a boat for 30 days, okay, to see the shore, that's a thing of beauty, all right? So Venus here is the representation and the personification of the beautiful things that we have the opportunity to see and materialize. Venus, also known as the Lucifer star. And look, we're going to take the spookism out of Lucifer right now. Venus, or Lucifer, as they call it, when you break this word down, we're looking at look, see, far, right? The Lucifer, the light bearer. And think about it in these terms too. Whenever we're looking or seeing, typically we have a way of ranging how far we can take something or how far away we are in proximity to something, right? So I just wanted to take the spookism out of this word because when you say Lucifer, honey, whoo. But I understand. I do understand. And thus, the Lucifer morning star of Venus, one of the stars that actually appears in the sky's horizon as the sun comes up. So while all the other stars have basically made their exit for the day, Lucifer hangs around for a while. And the way I think of it too, as you're planning your day, often we're looking and seeing how far we can go with something or how far we have to travel to work, how far we may be willing to go to make the plans that we have for our dinner date, right? So we're often planning on things based off how far we can see something going, aka the Lucifer morning star. Now let's look at the lovely lovers planet Venus furthermore through astrology. Venus rules both the second house of values and the seventh house of relationships. And in the second house with fixed Earth Taurus, our patience, determination, and sometimes stubborn natures are supported by the values that we want to possess. The security we find in them, be it money, attractive looks, or a great idea, the value and the assets we acquired and possess live here. In essence, what we desire to see. Then the love we seek to possess falls into the choices we make in relationship to it, deciding how exactly we plan to connect with it, with the things that we desire and love. So, here with the seventh house of relationships, alongside the scales of Libra, there's both a blessing and a burden. By weighing out the cost of our commitments, we ultimately get to decide who and how we choose to love. So, by way of this virtuous principle, we get the opportunity to fixate on the desires we wish to materialize with the mental dexterity to balance and measure if what we desire is truly worth it. Who knows? But in this case, you get the opportunity to judge, and it's all in the name of love. So now this begs the question, is love really all that deep? No, to the no, 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 yeah, to the no. Shout out to Bishop Bullwinkle. I love that clip. But yeah, I mean, in honesty, love is a pretty fickle matter, right? You may love something one day, hate it the next. People are constantly falling in and out of love, okay? So to me, Venus is a very tricky goddess. All right, she's beautiful. And there is a beloved experience of acquiring those things that we desire and, figuring out how to keep it in balance. But I think one of the ways that we truly measure the result of our decisions based off what we love is the progression of how we generate from the choices we've made and who we've chosen to partner up with and associate ourselves with, right? Hence, and hello to the fixed sign of Aquarius, and also the time of year that we celebrate the Lover's Holiday. So now with a fixed air sign of Aquarius, our minds are finally made up. There's no more deciding, changing your mind, tilting of the scales. We officially now know exactly what we're pouring into and the future that we wish to see. And what a more perfect time to show the strength in our connections than with the solidification of the fixed air energy Aquarius brings with it. And this brings us back to the original point of why I believe we celebrate Valentine's Day for the lovers during the Aquarius transit. In fact, Valentine's comes from the word Valentia, meaning strength, reminding us that love and its fickle natures of tug of war are actually remedied once we find the fortification to make up our mind. Now, one of the other reasons that I truly love this powerful energy of Aquarius is that it's ruled in the 11th house, the house of hopes and wishes. And when I think about the numerology, we're looking at two digits, right? So there's one for me, and the other one is for someone external to me, right? But here the two ones are coming together. And when you think about it, human beings with their hands by their bodies, we actually look like the number one. Now, the number one, of course, represents the self, and it's absolutely fine with being solo dolo. But like the homie Neo said, I am a movement by myself, but a force when we are together. Thus, furthermore, displaying the strength that we have in numbers. Once we can make up our minds to decide on what exactly we wish to pour into and the future that we also wish to see, all things that are exemplified under the Aquarius transit with the powers of Saturn and Uranus here, allowing us the ability to truly set our eyes on the reality that we choose to create. And what could be more fulfilling than that? Affirming our cupidity. Yes, I said cupidity, okay? Not to be confused with stupidity. But Cupid, the cute little angel, is the personification of what it's like to be struck hard by passion and desire. In fact, it represents the eagerness that we desire to possess something, pouring our minds into the reality that we choose to see, alongside the partnerships that we've made and chose way back in Libra, finally realizing what it's like to come together, married and committed to having the same mindset, the same ideals for the future. Now, what's more beautiful than that, ladies and gentlemen? Now, speaking of married folks, let us also talk about the Greek mythology of Eros and his wife Psyche, all right? Now, as the Greeks tell this story, Eros, which that word actually comes from the word erotic, all right? Something that's caused by a passionate love, marries the beautiful Psyche, which is the mind, okay? So in this story, the personification of our passions, the things that we love, coupling with our mind state. Baby, what you doing in Aquarius season, okay? Whatever you hope and wish for is what the Greeks are trying to remind us of. But let us go into the story a little bit more. Okay, y'all, so this would be the Valkymies digest version of this story. But essentially, Eros was summoned to have the beautiful Psyche marry a disgusting goblin because she was a threat to his mother's beauty. So, when Eros actually did see Psyche, he fell head over heels for her and married her himself. Took her to the palace, gave her that real soft life, you know what I mean? And they enjoyed each other's pleasures every single night. However, Psyche was a little troubled by their connection and confused because she never got the opportunity to look at her husband in the daytime. Now, let's just process this a little bit, right? Your erotic passions, your desires, those are things that you tend to not always share with the world. Sometimes these erotic desires never actually see the light of day. So in her mind, Psyche was plagued by her pestering sisters who told her essentially that this love that she had was actually a monster sent to destroy her. So she went to her lover Eros and asked, babe, why I can't see you in the daytime? And he like, babe, cause I'm a guy like that, okay? And I don't want to throw you off your game. This is really the only place that we can be equal, essentially, right? Which kind of reminds me, or at least makes me want to investigate the Greeks a little bit more, right? Because I think what they're saying is the passion that we have for the things that we truly want to go towards, right? It's an even more powerful thing than our minds, right? So hear me out. For instance, in your mind, you can have an ideal or a thought about something, but if you're really passionate to have it, won't you convince your mind that you can do it, that you can have it, that no one can stop you, right? So shout out to the Greek show. EBT. Okay, but anyway, back to the story, right? So essentially, Psyche does succumb to these doubts about her lover and approaches him one night. Now, she got a dagger because she think he might be a goblin, okay? And she has a lantern. But when she approaches him, she sees how fine he is, okay? But he awakens and then he sees her with a dagger. And so he fly off in jet like, nope, I'm out. This is over with, right? So now Psyche has the disturbing realization that the love that she once had is now gone. All because of her doubts. All because of her second guessing herself, right? And depending on who tells the tale, right? Psyche either goes through hell and high water to get her man's back, okay? Or she's left with the idea of knowing that she once loved and has lost. But the point being here is that once you have a passion that you love and that you're locked in on, right? It's important to protect it sometimes. Sometimes these things don't see the light of day. However, if you can allow it to progress with the people who you're locked in with those who you truly find strength in connecting with, okay, you can not only bring this love into the reality, but you can also see it realized with people that you care about, okay? And I love this story. I truly, truly do. In fact, I love this particular holiday, okay? Especially now that I've done a bit more research into understanding the strength that lies in love, okay? Because let's face it, sometimes we're lucky in love. Sometimes it's a battle. But overall, I think we as human beings wish and hope that it's truly going to be worth it to have a connection that we can solidifiedly stand on, right? Because love in and of itself is a very fickle matter. Things, when it comes to love, it's really just the tip of the scales, ladies and gentlemen, right? But that said, Valentine's is the perfect time to celebrate what progress can bring to and compliment as well when it comes to the power of our love. Okay, so I have to ask you guys during this Aquarius season, what are you pouring into? Okay, is it a cup of self-love? All right, do you have a passionate union that you are pouring into, or is you just want to keep it in the closet like Michael Jackson? Either way is fine with me. Okay, but it's just to remind you that during this Aquarius transit, anything worth pouring into is also worth celebrating when we think of what we love. So happy Valentine's Day, y'all. If you did enjoy this content, please like it. Subscribe if you ain't, honey, because it's the itty bitty baby channel, okay? But share it too, right? Tis the season. And anyway, this is Balcony. I enjoy myself and I hope that you enjoy it here. Take care. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.